Alright guys, so just as I've done a test on the new Formula 1 cars in the December 2022 update to Automobilista 2, I thought I would jump in and do the same, but this time for the new Nissans that are in the game. So we're going to be going into the two former Le Mans cars. We've got a Group C one there, and we've got a GT1 class one there, and also, as we're currently in, the GT3. So, with that in mind, let's kick it off at the GT3. I've chosen Imola for this track, or for this test, because, well, Imola is in ACC, so I'll be able to at least, offer some comparisons between this and ACC, same track in the GT3. But also then I wanted a kind of fast-ish track as well to allow the two endurance cars, or the Group C and the R390, to hit high enough speeds as well. But yeah, let's have a quick sound check of this GTR. Okay, the rev limit is quite flat, I guess. Oh, the gear shift sounds great though, doesn't it? That crack out of the exhaust. Yeah. I have to admit, I do like the sound outside a lot more than the ACC version. But it's neither here nor there. Let us crack on with this. Now, one thing for anyone that isn't kind of up to date with all of the updates that Risa brought out, let me show you. So we have added Risa have added the ability to basically change the fuel mapping. And you can see there I'm just using a little rotator on my steering wheel to increase or decrease the fuel map, which is great for, if we're going to go heading towards endurance racing eventually with AMS2. That's definitely going to be needed. But yeah, anyway, as I normally do with these tests, we'll do like one outlap just to scope out the track. And then what we'll do is we'll aim for a push lap on the second lap and just see kind of how it behaves. I mean, the curb interactions on this is way smoother than in ACC. Like, hitting that curb in ACC will, launch the car. Often in a somewhat, it can be a bit unpredictable, but whatever. Different sims will have different strengths and weaknesses, I guess. But let's go for a push lap. And we'll just leave the lights on. It looks kind of cool with the lights on. But yeah, let's do a lap as I would in a GT3 and ACC. Let's drive it the same way. Curb interaction is way better on this. You can actually attack the curbs and not be bounced and thrown around randomly. Now, I mean, you can overcome that in ACC, but it does require like a lot of laps to kind of get used to how the car is going to land off the curbs. That's the only criticism I'd have of that sim. It does everything else quite well. But yeah, this is really nice. This is, and good to see AMS2 filling out the GT3 roster. I've driven, and I recently downloaded the GT3 pack for R Factor 2 as well, but I have to say, this is probably, it feels the nicest to drive out of all of them. All three of them, to be honest. Yeah, that's just me driving a bit sloppy. Yeah, it does feel really nice, I have to say. It feels more natural. The tyres feel like tyres and not cement blocks. The car behaviour on turn-in and like weight shift and pitch feels exactly as you'd expect. And we also have various dashboard readouts, which is nice to see. Oh, when you knock the lights on and off, the steering wheel and all the lights in the car are backlit as well. That's a nice touch. We'll do one more quick lap, and then we'll jump into one of the faster offerings. yeah, these GT3 cars obviously have ABS and TC, so, you know, the performance of the car will be enhanced with the electronics, as with any GT3 car. And we also have the onboard TC adjustments as well if needed, so yeah, everything's here really for a nice GT3 experience. So they do feel really nice, they feel more dynamic. They feel nice and dynamic, like to drive them. Like this car feels like I can take maybe more than one line through the corner. I mean, there's one ideal driving line around every racetrack, of course, but it feels in this like I don't get it exactly on the money on corner entry. I'm sometimes given the opportunity to manipulate it after corner entry to, you know, save the corner, save the lap. But yeah, no, this feels really good. Oh, I've gone in way too deep. Way too deep. Yeah, it's ACC-esque without the crazy curb strikes. That's how I could probably best describe it. And the tyres feel softer, rubbery, you know, the whole suspension, the whole impact of the chassis off the curb, off the ground, or whatever it's hitting, just feels a lot more in line with what you'd expect, I think. You know, and you know, again, judging it from looking at GT3 on TV. Sounds good, and that sounds really good. The headlight exposure is pretty cool too. Yeah, the upshift sound is really, really nice. That crack and clack out of the exhaust as the ignition cuts. Yeah, really, really nice. And the car, I mean, the car itself drives very, very predictably. Typical GT3. And look just how it glides nicely over the curbs. That's something we don't get in Assetto Corsa Competizione, unfortunately. But I know they're talking about a nice update as well to coincide with the GT3 launch over the next couple of months. I think that's due. So I hope that they make some improvements to that, because it you know, it's one of the only final things missing really. Is that on the side of ACC, but yeah, this, to be honest with you, as a GT3 drive-in AMS2, this was really, really good, really good. And as I say, good to see them filling out that roster as well in GT3s. So let's park this here. We'll jump into maybe one of the faster Nissans, and we'll jump back into this track and go with the next one. Right guys, so next car on the list is the R390 GT1. So here it is in all of its glory. And let's pop on board. The headlight switch on and off does illuminate the dash, but tell you what, let's fire it up. Alright, there we go. Let's get this beast out on the track. Looks great, doesn't it? And we have the little fuel gauge counter in the center there, the 25.3. That's matching up with the amount of litres on board in the car. The oil temp on the display matches as well as just the water temp. Brake bias controllable on board, that's showing on the dash display as well. And on the dash display we have a number of different okay, so we've got tire temperatures, we have obviously steady state RPM, we look to have a lap timer and a delta timer, lap counter, and then current tire pressures, and the next one up then, I think, oh, that's the brake temperature. Okay, so we've got a good few bits of information on the LCD display. Outside the car, what have we got? So you can see the suspension assembly just under the front bonnet there, which looks quite cool. We have the lights we can turn on and off, then we have the brake light as well. And you can see when I apply the brake, the light gets brighter, as you'd expect. The model of the car looks brilliant. Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? And the sound. Let's get a bit of a sound check from outside. Yeah, oh, nice, nice. Right. Let's go for it. Yeah, those cracks on the downshift. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see what it's like on the inside, of course. And this is in the GT1 category, so yeah, I believe we don't have any ABS or TC, so it's all down to the driver in this one. And this is just to make it, I think, on a par with the current GT1 classes that are there. But yeah, let's just do like the usual kind of scoping out lap, and then we'll do like a bit of a push lap. Yeah, really nice over the curb as well. Now I did go a bit too greedy there, so the floor seemed to hit, but yeah, again, as expected. We have like a shift light on the top of the steering wheel, singular red shift LED, so I'll program that into my Fanatec eventually. Let's go for it's fairly quiet on board, I have to say. I did expect it to be a tiny bit louder, but you know, whatever. And over the curbs you go. It's nice and compliant, a bit twitchy on the exit, and yeah, you can feel the lack of TC for sure, but you know, it does feel really nice to drive and rewarding as you get through the corners at the same time. The actual balance of the car is predictable, like any other car really. You know, if you overdrive the front, you'll get that lazy shift out. You try and get it back with a bit of throttle, and like any car as well, without TC that is this powerful, you do get the little snaps on exit when you get a little bit too greedy, let's say, picking the throttle back up. So yeah, you just need to drive it as well with a bit of caution, as you'd expect really. But it feels really good, nice and compliant. The front end turns in nicely. Ooh, went a bit aggressive there, but we're all good. Let's bring the brake bias back in touch. Oh, it's always a risk going deep there because it's downhill braking, like trying to scrub the speed off is that bit more difficult. You also have the rev counter or the rev light to the right side of the LCD display as well. And let's just turn on the lights of the car just to see that a bit clearer. Yeah, this is really nice to drive. Really compliant, and you can feel the snaps immediately as they happen. The force feedback in this game, I have to say, is it's right up there. You know, I've never once driven any car in AMS2, I don't think, that I've ever questioned what the thing was doing underneath me. The force feedback in this game is so detailed and so direct. And I don't mean direct as in sharp. It just detailed as in I know what the car is doing all of the time. All of the time. I can feel absolutely everything I need to feel to keep the car going in the right direction. And I know like what inputs to give it, I you know. And I say that like ACC is my main competitive simulator, like I race leagues in it and stuff in GT3. you know, of way more hours in ACC. But I have to admit, even that doesn't give me as much. I mean, it's very, very close. Like ACC force feedback is quite good, but it's, I don't know. Just if I had to be critical, I think this tends to give that bit more for me at least. And I'm using the default profile, by the way, if anyone's wondering. You know, I did try some custom profiles, but to be honest, I just prefer the default. Yeah, what a car! What a car! The sounds in this game are just, oh, they're up there. I mean, the car looks great. The physical 3D model of the car, the physics driving it as well. The interaction with the curbs, the sound, the driving experience, the feedback. I mean, it's all 10 out of 10 to be honest in this one. Yeah, very impressed. See that lazy slide as well, just from driving it too sharp on the way in. And then at the uphill, the whole body compresses and gives you grip back, so you end up in this like four-wheel drift as opposed to the rear snapping out. Yeah, the sounds are absolutely incredible. Yeah, we leave that one there, guys. We'll go and get the Group C Nissan, and yeah, we'll pop back to the same track here. And give that a couple of laps, and yeah, basically see what we think of that one as well. Alright guys, so here we are then in the Nissan R89C. And let us just have a look at seating positions for this one. Yeah, kind of like that there. Yeah, that seems good. Lights on the dash will illuminate the LCD and the little clock in the middle that boost pressure, I'm sure. Temperatures. Okay, and then have what looks to be a timer with delta. Then that looks to be the last lap on an average or average pace. Then we have what looks to be tire and brake temps. We also have the brake bias there as well. Then we have water temperatures, speed, or RPMs. But anyway, let's get this fired up. And we can see the little clock down the centre of the dash changing with the boost pressure. No doubt the temperature will also increase as well. But yeah, all looks pretty good, I have to say. Yeah, okay, let's go for a couple of laps as we usually do, and let's see what this is all about. The inside of the car looks great. The actual modelling of it. Let's change the position a tiny bit. So looking out to the left-hand side, we have the looks to be a fuel gauge of 34 there, which is 34 litres of fuel. Let's have a look at the exterior model. Oh, sounds mean, doesn't it? Looks great though. See the radiators inside there. Small front headlights as well. And just like the other car, the brake lights at the back get brighter if the main lights are on. But yeah. Oh, sounds great, that spit out. Alright, so looks and sounds really nice, and so I'm expecting this to be a bit more of a handful than the other two, I think. So, you know, what we're looking at, 900 900 plus horsepower, I think 915 or something like that, in a car that weighs 995 kilos. So it's a V8, turbocharged of course. Oh, we have a big shift light just to the left of the steering column, that big orange light. Okay. Pretty good. The force feedback feels a little bit lighter compared to the R390 and the GT3 version, but that could be just down to, you know, cold tyres, not fully gripped up yet, stuff like that. There could be a number of things. Either way, it's a simple fix as well if you wanted to increase the FFB a small bit. Again, sounds like a party on the outside, as most recent cars do, in a very good way, I have to say. So yeah, let's go on to a hot lap. Careful not to give a full throttle until I'm pretty confident the back is settled. We got that all wrong. Oh my god. That was absolutely ruthless. Caught that curb completely wrong on the way in. Right, so proof then that you do have to be, well, you know, it's running very low to the ground, of course, and we just attacked a sausage curb that didn't like that one bit. Let's actually have a look at the replay of that just while we are here. Just fast forward this just to get to the point where we went off track. Oh yeah. See that there? Just completely unsettles. Yeah. Fair enough. It's just something to be aware of, I guess, that yeah, you cannot abuse the corner entries too much. And that could be a number of things, you know. It could have hit it too hard, the car's low, the setup could have a very low bump stop travel, which again is just going to allow the suspension to compress a tiny bit before going into the stop, and obviously there's still energy to be transferred through the chassis, so what happens? Well, you end up getting a bit airborne. Yeah, it could be setup related, because I do notice over some curbs here it's a little bit, just a little bit too bouncy. But yeah, nothing a setup tweak won't fix. And going into some of these corners just a little bit too hot. So let's do one more lap, and I'll try to be a bit more sensible on this one. It's a nice car to drive though, it's not overly difficult, to be fair. Yeah, and it's just a matter of waiting to pick the throttle up, given the boost on this thing, the way it delivers it. You can almost preempt when the boost is going to kick in, that you can almost have a little bit of steering lock ready to go, almost bedded into your throttle input. And then when you're not prepared like that, it's very much like, oh, what do we do? Yeah, I think out of three of them, this does need a bit more respect over curbs. compared to the other two. But yeah, great car, really fun. It's definitely an experience, and yeah, I think it's a great addition to the Group C roster. I haven't driven them back to, or well, not back to back, but I haven't driven them in a race situation to see how the balance of performance is from one to the next. But I can only assume that you know, it's going to be, you know, well, I hope they're nicely balanced, because it'd be great to take these out along with the other Group Cs. And the same with the GT1, actually, with the Nissan and the GT1. Great to bring that as well and have it go against the Mercedes and stuff. Let's have a listen. Hang on a second. I think... yeah, silly me. I have the playback speed on. Let's put it to real time. I knew there was something up there. Sounds epic. I can imagine a race in these, like at Daytona at night or something, under the floodlights or whatever, like a Group C race, or, you know, even similar GT1s if you're to get the same thing. I think that'd be really, really cool. Like I say, they're fast, but they're not fast to the point where instant death is going to happen. And at the same time, because they don't have driving aids or enhancements, let's say, like TC and ABS, it does put the emphasis back on the driver that, you know, you as a driver make the difference, which, you know, with all of these cars, well, particularly the last two, the GT1 and this one, you can definitely notice that that dynamic, if you like, in the driving. Yeah, we leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, the new Nissans. I believe as well, these are free edition as well. I don't think they're part of a DLC pack, but go and check it out. I stand to be corrected, but I do believe these are actually free content. But yeah, definitely worth a drive, and yeah, I would say online friendly, and to some extent beginner friendly as well. Great cars. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching, and till the next one.